Howdy doodly dandy there, chums. 'Tis I, Captain of the Steves, and today, chums, for you guys in the viewerverse, I'm doing a review of Anno Muta. I mean, that's what I'm calling it, because I can't pronounce its full name. But it's got some really nice visual elements. I mean, look at this. It's freaking great. It's got some nice little nostalgic nods as well. There's a screen that shows River Raid in this, in some sort of little arcade later. It's brilliant. It really is cool. Now, I saw the trailer to this, and I'm a massive fan of Battle Angel Alita. I've got a display right there. In fact, I'll pull it off the wall since it's magnetic. There you go, Battle Angel Alita. Freaking love Battle Angel Alita. I've also got a RoboCop one. Trust me on that. It was just the next to it, actually. But I love the sort of cyberpunk and Blade Runner and all that sort of shenanigans, the Judge Dredd, even the new one. Yeah, like all that sort of stuff. So this is right up my alley of stuff that I wanted to try. And the visual style, I love it. I love pixel art. Love pixel art. So I really wanted to jump in and I really wanted to enjoy this game. But sadly, it just didn't quite click with me on a couple of elements, which I'm doing a review of this. I'm going to be putting a score on it at the end, so stay tuned for that. But take a look at this. How awesome is this? I mean, you're finding stuff in the verse, running around in some sort of realised 3D, 2D city, and it's just really nice on how they've done it. The artists for this game, a top job. The music in this game, pretty good, pretty spot on. The sound effects are also pretty darn good. But where this game falls short is on the actual story. Right, so something about this game is it's not just all just running around towns. There are puzzles to solve, and one of those puzzles is hacking. Now right here I'm hacking a door, which is fairly freaking simple. Nice and easy to hack a door. Just line up all those little rings, press R1, boom, you've unlocked the door. And you can go inside of these areas and sometimes you come across computers that have encrypted emails and things like that, and maybe it's slightly harder to actually crack the encryption on a computer terminal, which I really like. I quite like that aspect that they've actually got tiers to the hacking system. Yeah, so a little bit later on, here I am trying to hack a computer. I couldn't actually hack a computer, so I had to go into my skill tree and unlock the expert hacker Pidget before I could actually hack the actual computer. So here we go, here I am trying to solve it. It takes me a few cracks, even though I've just unlocked the ultimate hacker skill, if you like, or expert hacker. Anyway, I'll shut up for a sec so you can hear some of the sound effects as well. So now I can read those emails. Boom! Unlockticated, decrypticated. And some of these emails, they might give you clues on to where there might be a side quest or how to complete a side quest and little hints of other things that might be going on inside of the actual game, which I kind of like. But there is a lot of reading. There isn't a lot of voice acting. There are other puzzles. I mean, this one, I found a bloodstained note on this body that's right next to a staircase that's right next to the door that I need to unlock, where I need that actual piece of information. Kind of handy. So yeah, I think you get where I'm going with this. Although there are layers to things and there are skills that you can unlock to help you do some of these abilities, it doesn't feel like a lot of work has gone into crafting these hacking abilities or even that puzzle in question that I just showed you just then. So you're probably thinking, well, what do you like about this game, Captain Steve? I do like the artist. The art style is freaking awesome. It's why I picked the game up. But other than that, the combat's fairly good. I mean, in the actual trailer, it looked freaking awesome. I used to love a game called Strider by Capcom. I used to play it like heck in the arcade. Loved it on my Amiga and on the Mega Drive and pretty much every other console that had it. I loved playing Strider. So this looked like Strider with this sort of like the light blade, the way that you sort of move as well, the grabbing onto ledges and climbing up them and scaling them. Not as much as Strider. I mean, Strider was very acrobatic and gymnastic-y. And I think Strider has this beat when it comes to combat, and Strider wasn't all that well versed, and there wasn't many abilities to unlock in Strider. There's quite a lot of abilities to unlock in this, but do they actually improve the combat all that much? Not overly, not too much, not until you get about halfway into the game where you unlock this crazy mode. Because she's got this illness that you're trying to actually combat or stop from progressing, because it sends her into this sort of rage mode, which we're going to see in a moment. But I would say that it's kind of an illness that's freaking awesome. So it's one of these, well, do I really want to solve this illness? And I think that's where I kind of fell down with this game, because you're trying to find your brother who's trying to find a cure for your illness, and at the same time is trying to find a cure for the illness yourself. So it's a little bit raveled up in it anyhow, but you don't get to see who your brother is right from the word go, so you're not too sure who you're actually locating or whether he's a decent guy anyway. He's trying to save you, so you can only but assume that you are. And also this illness that you've got anyway. I mean, you can see here, look, I've just turned into a kick-ass frickin' ninja on this illness. You know, it's not like rabies. No, this is frickin' meant, look, ninja abilities. Why would you want to cure that? No, I want that mode permanently. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that aside, it doesn't feel that engaging. I'm not really vested in trying to help this character. And also, the actual levels themselves, apart from the boss fight. The boss fights are freaking awesome. But the levels, they're so... they go on for freaking ages. And there's nothing all that interesting about them. And they all look very samey. So you're in a sewer system, for example, and it's so hard to tell whether, have I been here or not? All the tunnels look similar, the ledges all look similar, even the bad guys that you get in there are all similar. It just feels very repetitive and grindy for no real reason, to be fair. It'd be nice if it was just a string of boss fights with very small levels in between them. That'd be cool, but there's a lot of jumping, hitting switches, turning things on, jumping over stuff, turning on fans to suck poison out of rooms, going through, and it's just rinse and repeat. Every single level seems to have its theme, and its theme is then just repeated over and over again to... it's tedium. And the story itself, other than, you know, Ryan, the illness and all that sort of shenanigans, there's things like this that are proper cringe. I'm trying to get into a nightclub right now, and he's nope, you can't get in, there's a dress code, you've got to come back and you've got to look like a complete slapper. Alright, so funny enough, your friend knows of another slapper that can get you to dress like a complete utter tart, and then you can get into said nightclub. And there's a few real odd sexy type comments inside of this game as well. And also, you know, there's a couple of people that are quite slender and quite, you know, broad, and it just uses the words fat and thin, and there's a lot of body shaming, there's a lot of sort of sexual... It just feels very sexist at times, people. I mean, having to get into different costumes all the time. It's like when you go and help your sister out to be a barmaid. The barmaid, the dress is halfway up your freaking backside. It just felt a bit too pervy for my liking at times, and a little bit condescending to the fairer sex. And yeah, I couldn't really get into it for that reason as well, because I was like, I don't feel comfortable playing this. You know, putting it on my channel, in fact. I was like, do I really want this on my channel at times, you know? And that's kind of another reason why I don't really want to progress too far into it, because people might think, oh, CaptainSteve's only playing this for one reason. No, I love Battle Angel Alita. She doesn't come across as tarty or anything, does she? But look at this. I mean, really? It's like, oh, you can't be the same woman as before. And then when you go inside of here, you go speak to this gent that's over by the bar, and he actually says, well, you can either give me a shed load of money or you can come back to my place. Up to you, love. Seriously? What the fudge is this, the 60s? It's freaking weird. And yeah, you got the dancers with the pixelated boobs that sort of bounce. It's like Dead or Alive all over again, you know what I mean? And I hated that as a beat 'em up. And some of the actual story had me proper hiding behind my eyes. Look, I'm going to play this bit. I'm going to shut up and let you listen to this. And I was proper cringing on this moment.
How did I end up back here?
It was Ray. He saved you.
Is that so? That arrogant.
Hey, you can't say that about a person who saved your life. I was so worried about you when you went splat.
Oh,
Darling, aren't you gonna do something to comfort me?
get off first.
I need comforting.
Get off.
Nah, I won't. Kiss. Hey!
Stay away from me.
Come on! Get
So yeah, things like this just really put me off the game, and I found it to be a complete cringe fest. But there are some moments that are really cool, like you get into a mech and you can completely decimate a load of bad guys. I like the combo counter, I like all the super moves that you can do, and sort of the enders and finishers, and the super mode that you go into that you're trying to cure and get rid of, which just doesn't make any sense. I like some of the giant, massive monsters inside of this game and the enemies that you come across. I found that the bosses were super varied, but the actual way that you beat them is just roll, get behind them, hit them a few times, roll, get behind them, hit them a few times, or at least that's how it seemed. I mean, the difficulty was easy, then super hard. So although it got harder and it ramped up massively, at that point I've got a load of resources. I just went into the crafting menu, made myself a load of health restorative things like injections and stuff, or I went to see the corn vendor and bought a load of corn, which gives you back your health. So it's just a case of constantly giving yourself health back during battles, which you can do from the pause menu, so, or even off of the quick wheel, or just by pressing up on the D-pad, which it negated everything that you needed skill for, really, to be fair, because you can just keep pumping yourself full of health, which is great. Something I didn't like too much is every single big bad guy usually has a couple of little mobs with them. Now you can keep hitting these mobs to build up that ring that's above where the combo is in the other corner, and once that gets to its maximum, then you can unlock your super mode where you go into ninja mode and you can go freaking mental on the bad guy, which is fine. But those little mobs, they respawn, and they respawn fairly freaking often, and they can be super freaking annoying. Now, I did get the better of this boss. I got way past this boss. I got massively into the game, like far into the game. I never got into it, like actually freaking enjoyed it. I was always on the fence with this game. I was like, you know what, that level was actually okay, but it was only thanks to the boss. Thanks to the bosses in this are freaking great. The levels and the level design, it feels like were put together by a toddler. It's the same thing every freaking level. You're either traversing left or right or up or down and going backwards into sort of tunnels and things. And it just felt done to dust. It was very repetitive and very sort of grindy for grindy's sake, if you like. And the story just didn't evolve all that quickly. It kept going off on sort of tangents with side characters, and there was too many side characters being thrown at you to understand what was going on, or to even form a kinship with any of those characters. The story was terrible. For that reason, I'm going to score this a 6.2 out of 10. Until next time, goodbye, and goodbye again. Well, thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see, please hit a like and a subscribe, and I'd like to say a massive great big thank you to all of my backers over on Patreon and over on YouTube membership. Thanking you, backers! And if you want to support this channel, just don't skip the adverts. That throws revenue down my avenue. Or yeah, just stay with Captain Steve a little bit longer and hit something on this screen. There's merch here now too.